TalkinRonpa. Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back
to the end, Chapter 3's podcast. Thereabout, it's TalkinRonpa, featuring me, RJ Waters 2, and my soul bro, Blindcat.
Hello.
Today, before I can tell you what we're going to talk about, I need to make sure everybody that hasn't played Danganronpa 1 or 2 has left the building. Also, if you haven't played Danganronpa V3 up to where we're at today, which is the end of Chapter 3...
Don't watch this.
But you're going to want to watch this because, if that's not the case. Because it's a rare opportunity for you to see RJ Waters eat crow. My favorite delicious dish. I'm eating crow today. Because I was wrong.
You were wrong about multiple things.
I was right about barely anything.
I can't believe you didn't trust Kaito.
So, with apologies to Kaito, we're here today to discuss the trial of Angie and Tanko's murderer. Well, just Angie's murderer, but it happened to be Tanko's murderer as well. That person is Karekyu Shinguji.
And it broke all convention because if a person looks like a serial killer, talks like a serial killer, and acts like a serial killer, then that's the last thing that they are.
Actually, it maintains convention because Chapter 3 is the chapter of the stupid motive. And wanting to
make some friends.
Wanting to kill
Poor sister.
I thought he really wanted to make 100 of his own friends before he died. When he mentioned in the trial. And then the even stupider reveal. Like, you didn't need to kill 2 people, because getting away with the murder...
No, but he had this entire setup.
But if he didn't do the other one, we never would have found him.
Yeah, but wasn't that a waste? Isn't that going to be a waste of a setup, you know?
I got this perfect crime. 2 perfect crimes a perfect crime does not make.
I love how the hastily done crime was more of a perfect crime because there was nothing that really points the finger at him. Because anyone can get into his lab for a sword, and that's like the only piece of evidence that links him to that scene.
Also, if he didn't need to create a locked room mystery, it would have been just fine to leave.
If he just left, then there would still be nothing there to...
It would open up even more possibilities, because then even a dummy like Kaido could have done it.
Although, the locker room mystery does point the finger at the student council, I guess.
No, the student council would still need to get in while it's unlocked. Or while it's locked.
Yeah, the student council's the only ones that can get in, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
would just throw more suspicion towards them.
They could have left and left it unlocked, like everybody else would have.
Oh yeah. Isn't that curious?
I guess by locking the room behind you, you just kind of take away the possibility that the body was moved.
Maybe, it would have made Angie stuck in the room for a few days, and there'd be less evidence. Or better, there'd be less, indication as to when. The mono Kuwafao will probably still say it.
Just hide her under the floorboard. Let her be found like 3 weeks later. Probably after another trial happened and came and went. So, do you notice in the trial Angie's portrait?
Yeah. She has a halo and angel wings.
Yeah.
Instead of the X. And I then also noticed that some of the X's were stylized.
Yeah, there's no standard X texture. None of the other ones are like unique to their character. They're just...
Ryoma's is a blocked one. Tanko's is a swerved X.
Oh yeah, Tanko's is like styled in the same shape as her... What is that? Is that a bandana?
Her bow?
Over?
Thing?
Yeah, it kind of follows the shape of that.
Yeah, and instead of a painted graffitied X, Ryoma has a solid block one.
Oh, because he's a prisoner?
I don't know. Maybe.
Mastermind? So who did you remember who you said was the culprit last week? I was pretty big jerk about it being Kaito.
Oh, I said it was Sabugi. She was 100% unhelpful during that trial.
I don't
She
think,
spoke up at the beginning saying it was a ghost, and then did
yeah,
nothing.
I think she was completely silent for the entire rest of the trial. She just did that one pose where she's doing the, I think it's the Chinese ghosts, where like the hands.
Jiangxi?
What's that?
Jiangxi?
Oh, is that what they called?
I think so, maybe.
I think that's the Korean.
My pronunciation is probably really off.
Yeah, it sounds right. Where the hands are like facing 90 degrees
Yeah,
down
the
out of the
jumping ghost?
big sleeves. Oh yeah, they jump. I think they have
Yeah,
to
hopping ghost.
count beans. Oh, that
Um,
Chinese vampire has to glean the beans. So needless to say, we were both wrong.
I was completely wrong about this movie ever being relevant.
Yeah, I think she's got to step up in the next chapter if she wants to be a character by the end of the game.
The is getting progressively worse, but at least
Yeah,
she's still contributing to the trial.
yeah. At least she's got some dialogue, but I don't.
Gonto was helpful.
Yeah, Gonto's actually getting into the trials, which he's probably going to die next chapter. So the reason I think neither of us suspected Korekio, even though in retrospect it makes a lot of sense. There were
Because
two.
he's the only one who has the setup, the one who places the marker stone, the one who can determine the size of the seance circle. Because I realized like you had to know things about the seance because it required setup. I just figured,
And,
anyone could read that book.
yeah. That's what I claimed was. I claimed that Angie was the one that set up the magic circle murder, and she died in an effort to stop her, and somebody took over her killing method afterwards. That's not correct either. The reasons that we didn't suspect Korekio, I think two big ones. One, he was himself confused about why the seance didn't go off.
And I completely believe them on that.
Yeah, I thought it was like a setup for a mystery we would solve. Like, oh no, there was a sixth person in the room, so it didn't work. But he just
He was just pretending. It was an act. He's done this before, apparently.
not this specific murder, I don't think.
Maybe he has. He's mentioned that he's gotten other friends before, and this isn't the first time he's done a seance. This could very well be an
Oh,
MO he's done before.
okay. And the other big reason why I never suspected Korekio, because we never figured out that the magic circle murder was as complicated as it was. We both assumed that the killer used a light source underneath.
And he was underneath the floorboards.
Yeah.
To think that the killer used the ropeway.
The seesaw effect.
Yeah, I got another game over on that.
Really? I got it right away.
It took me a few tries to realize, oh, the first word is seesaw, and then I kept misspelling effect.
AFFECT.
Yeah, I finally realized I counted out the letters and realized there was two Fs. And then, yeah.
I got game overs actually because I didn't think to lie in one of the nonstop debates. Because normally they flag it with like a.
They did.
Oh, his blue text said something about lying?
Oh, not the blue text, but he told Maki to just go with him on this, and if anything happens, he'll take the blame for it.
Oh. That must have went right past me, because I tried every combination of bullet and weak point before I decided to lie, because I was afraid of getting a back route when I didn't need to. And it turns out you just lie about it. She died instantly.
I didn't get any backgrounds this time.
Oh, were you looking for them?
I didn't see any of the backgrounds this time. No, I wasn't really looking for them.
Okay.
I was a little lost in this case for the most part. So
yeah, this was the first case where, like, I was surprised to see. I was surprised that they revealed the lock trick, like the second thing you did in the trial. It was just
that was just something that was super obvious.
Yeah. Everybody knows
That's
exactly how it was done.
Yeah.
Like they expected you to get to know that already.
I had zero understanding of how the murder for Tanko took place after the floorboards was eliminated.
I thought it was simply there was a guy underneath the floorboard named Kaito Momota. He had the sickle. He just like pushed up to move a little gap in, and then raised it and stabbed her in the neck, and then left. But we never considered that you can't use a light because there's a hole in the corner, and everybody would have seen the light.
I just assumed that if the light was far enough, it just didn't. It wouldn't. I don't know. Like
You-
maybe he could also, it could also be if you pop in from a different room. Because the rotting floorboards thing, like you find it underneath the floor when you go down there. You saw that you can go to the adjacent rooms.
Yeah, and then we refused to investigate it.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be relevant.
Yeah.
What could have been happening was the killer moved from an adjacent room with a some sort of covering. Once they reached where the rotting partition was, they could just use that covering to like cover the gap from beneath.
Oh, you mean like to block the light?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh man, so finally, I was warning about this. The first two murders, I had found a way where Kaito could have done them, even after the fact. In the first murder, after the ball fell and hit Rontaro on the head, the camera flashed right before that happened. So there was a 30-second delay where Kaito could have walked out from the black and white door, came over and finished him off, and then escaped through the black and white door again, which would explain the blood on the camera. And in chapter 2, Kaito is the one that actually drowned Ryoma, and Hirumi just disposed of the body for him.
I
This chapter,
don't see either of those happening because I
This-
believe in Kaito.
I believe Kaito is probably the mastermind, if not just the traitor.
And if Kaito is lying to me, then it's my own fault for believing in him, not his.
He lied about how many push-ups he did.
Well, that's why he can't be the mastermind. Bears don't lie.
Oh my. Lucky. I did notice something. You probably noticed this or if you realize the impact it has. Monokuma brought up some
Yeah.
details from Danganronpa 1 and 2
So
that this
there's
mirrors.
the chronology.
Yep, that's exactly what it pointed out to me, is that it's after Danganronpa 1 and 2, and whoever's controlling Monokuma pretty
Was aware
much...
of the events, but wasn't one at least broadcasted?
1 was broadcast, 2, it means he has to be either Junko or one of the 6 people that survived.
Or part of the Future Foundation since they were watching the entire time.
Oh yeah, right. Because he realized that what Tsumugi said about covering yourself with a tarp and just stabbing through the floorboard sounded familiar. That gold leaf katana.
No, it was the gold. There was you could use glowing paint to.
Oh yeah, the glowing
figure
paint
out the.
and
yeah.
stab up through the floorboard.
Yeah.
And I think that gold leaf katana showed up in 2, right?
Yeah. No, the gold leaf katana showed up in 1.
No, I know it was
The
from
first
1.
trial.
I thought it was.
Oh yeah, it was in 2, I think, and it wasn't relevant to anything, I believe.
I think it was just somewhere in the game.
I guess that's our recurring character for the Danganronpa series.
It keeps flaking off all over the world. It's been flaking off and it's still not done flaking. Oh, I don't know why I wrote this down. I'm not sure at what point in the trial I took this note. The salt was scuffed in order to obscure the seesaw. I think this was before, I think it was just right after the seesaw was revealed, before the act break, where Korekiyo started getting suspicious.
Something I don't really understand: the seesaw effect. The partition that was moved, it was only a section that was right beneath Tanko.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was a seesaw effect, then the partition should have been a lot longer, right?
Oh, that board?
Yeah.
It might have just been drawn weird.
Because it should have gone all the way. It should be like more than double the length that was beneath Tanko, right?
It was up and off, like, not fit in the other end of the board because it's a straight line.
Yeah, because
it
if
also
that
have
part
to be
that's
off.
underneath Tanko was off, then the entirety of that board should be off. But you don't see like a long board past Tanko.
I think that's probably why I didn't realize it could be anything other than popped up, because I thought the board...
Yeah, I just thought it was a board that was slightly moved underneath Tanko.
I thought
didn't
it
really get that.
was entirely located inside the cage, which is why I never considered anything else.
Yeah, same here. But if that board really was that long while investigating, there was the high chance that someone was just gonna step on it.
Oh, I think that's probably why it's now out of place, so it won't seesaw anymore.
Oh yeah, if it's yeah.
Hmm.
If it's out of place, then Yeah, I guess, but
How can I use this inconsistency to pin this on Kaito?
Kaito's obviously a good person and an idiot.
Yeah, because if I was right and Kaito had pulled off this murder, it would also mean he's not an idiot. Just for devising that locked room.
No, I really think he is an idiot.
A Kaito level idiot. Now I feel like a Kaito level idiot for trying to think he was the killer. He was just acting really suspicious.
Yeah, so Kaito, it seems that his time is gonna be limited now, regardless.
Yeah, he's not making it out of this.
Looks like he's ill. And
Oh,
that
oh,
would,
that's right. The final
yeah,
cliffhanger.
Kaito was coughing up blood. That would explain his drive to try to become an astronaut so early on instead of waiting to.
Oh, you're right. He probably has like cancer, and he's trying to get to space.
He probably has Danganronpa disease, something completely made up.
Yeah, Reverie
Um,
syndrome.
and so that's why he faked his credentials to become an astronaut.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a choice in that. Can't wait it out.
So is that why he caused an asteroid strike on the Earth? Was to increase his chances of getting into space?
That would be one hell of a motive.
Oh,
If I can't go to space alone, then we're all going to space.
and then I'm also going to forget about it once I get there. This is not a speculation. I just noticed a little nice piece of sound design. Wanted to give props to. There was a point in the trial where Kokichi was saying something to the effect of, "Oh, we're stuck. We can't progress," and Kibo keeps trying to interrupt him. And every time it cuts back to Kokichi not letting him interrupt, it picks up the song like in the middle of where it was before.
Listen!
I
Hey!
guess we'll never figure out how to.
Listen to me!
Yeah, it's a total mystery. You're playing on a higher resolution, larger screen than I am. Playing the Steam version instead of a Vita, so you probably noticed this. In the picture of Korekio and his sister, there's a little asterisk in the corner.
I did not see the asterisk.
Oh, there's a little asterisk, and it was the second time it popped up. And it said, after it revealed it was his sister, it said, no physical connection.
I didn't see that asterisk.
Oh, it only popped up the second time, you might have not.
Oh, it must be because I'm playing on a higher rating than you.
Oh no! Speaking of that, I'm still baffled that Ultra Despair Girls managed to get an M instead of an AO.
Is it that raunchy?
It's just inappropriate.
Is it Miyu level inappropriate?
I would say that Miyu is more appropriate.
Miyu is more... Really?
There's a Miyu-esque character in Ultra Despair Girls, but she's like 8 years old.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Just picture like the Danganronpa cast, but if they were children instead, but behaved exactly the same. It makes it a lot worse.
Tiny Togami.
tiny fat Togami.
Look at him taking charge.
In the name of my nap time. Okay, I have a note, but it's an incomplete note. Maybe you can fill in the blanks for me. Maybe you can do Hangman's Gambit for my notes here. Somebody said, if people were watching this, probably Monokuma. Yeah, that's all I have written down, is if people were watching this, so they're bringing up the idea again, this is broadcast.
Yeah, they are.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Was it Monokuma that brought that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Pretty sure.
So Earth isn't destroyed then? There are some other survivors besides these, now, what, 9?
3, yeah. Just because they're off of Earth doesn't necessarily mean that they're on the only vessel off of Earth.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're not the ones that set up this exoplanet either, for this trip to this planet, if it's not man-made. Sure, Kaito is involved as the ultimate astronaut.
So, I figured out who set up all of this.
All of
aliens.
Oh no! Technically now they're alien to them.
Oh no!
But there's the same species. I was right about one thing, kind of. I called the death of Monodam. I
Not because anyone pushed him in.
I just called both of the possibilities wrong. Either Monokuma would kill him or the siblings would kill him, but he just killed himself. I thought when I watched the cutscene that the other two had pushed him.
Well, the other two did push him to it.
Oh, he had tried to push them, and they dodged it and pushed him instead. But
Nope.
apparently he was shoving past them.
How'd you like the fake out on that? How do you like Monophony defending herself? It was everyone else's fault bullying him. Even though she was clearly doing it too with the obvious ignoring everything that he was saying at the end of that trial.
When he tried to get into the punishment time conversation tree.
Mm-hmm. And the other two would only respond when their dad was speaking. Father!
I don't know where they're going with the mono cubs subplot. I don't see Monophony or Monotaro killing each other.
No, it's the double murder next time.
Especially because after one of them dies, then there's nothing.
No, it's actually going to be exactly that. Monotaro and Monophony are going to kill each other simultaneously.
Not Monokuma kill them both?
Nope, they're going to kill each other simultaneously.
Because I don't think you can have just one mono cub. They won't have anybody to interact with. Except the cast.
It's a tempt. The balding tempt that doesn't speak.
If only one of them dies, it's going to be Monotaro, and then Monophony becomes the new Monomi.
I think the charm of the Monocubs is the fact that there's multiple of them.
Yeah.
If there's one of them, they would just suck.
Oh, you mean Monomi?
Yeah, I think Monophony just showing up and throwing up is not going to be very entertaining.
They keep saying that we're about to embark on a wonderful adventure, and it's showtime, and then I never do. So I don't like them. Do you want to jump into predictions for next chapter?
Yeah, because I got nothing to say about this chapter. This is there was zero regret over the execution here.
Oh, what do you think of that punishment time? That was pretty good.
I thought it was just going to be him melting. It was going to be pretty boring.
Oh, in the pot?
Yeah, and I was like, that's it.
I thought when he got to like the ghost, I knew he was gonna like not get to be the ghost with his sister. I thought like maybe he would just fall out of the sky like a string
Getting
would break.
salted by his sister now.
Yeah, and then she hangs out with the ghost of Monokuma instead.
There you go, though. But the despair element worked its way in, so that's pretty great. I think so far Kurumi was probably still the best, though.
Oh, punishment time?
Uh-huh.
I thought Kaede's was more horrifying.
I thought Kurumi's was the cruelest.
Oh, because it gave her the chance to escape and it was just fake.
That absolute crushing despair.
I felt Kaede's execution was the closest to Leon's very first.
Because it was drawn out.
To the way, just like how like horrifying and visceral it was. Like it was grounded in reality enough to actually like affect you as a horror thing.
What? And Correcchios wasn't?
That's what he gets for using
you remember all
salt.
those murders by or whatchamacallit, executions in the past before they got rid of them, where they salted people's ghosts? Terrible.
Did you happen to catch a glimpse of the first screen of Chapter 4? I didn't.
Yeah, I did. Oh, I can ruin it for you right now.
Is it like
it's a black screen where someone who is question mark says, "Hey there, guess I don't have to introduce myself, huh?"
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah. So there you go.
So is that
it's quite revealing.
Who do you think that person's talking to?
Well, they need no introduction. Yeah, no idea.
Nagito?
No, I'm just gonna skip past that.
Yeah, let's move into speculation for Chapter 4. Who's getting the axe this time? Don't say Gonta, I'm saying Gonta.
Gonta, Kibo, Himiko, and I don't know.
Is that your list of people going to die?
Either
or just the possible
Tsumugi
people?
Or Miyu as well, I guess.
But not both.
Yeah, but definitely not both. One of them's gonna have to make it through all the way to the end here. You can't just have because I can't see Himiko going all the way to the end, especially since this last chapter, she's gotten so more resolute on living
Mm-hmm. Now's
towards
the
the
time
end
to
there.
sweep the rug out from under me.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing happened to what's her name in Danganronpa 2? The
Are you talking?
small one, Twin Tails.
Oh, Hiyoko.
Yeah, Yoko. Ham hands.
Do you think it's not going to be Himiko? Chapter 5 has to be like... Chapter 5 has to be Kaito, right? Chapter 5 is the last murder, so it has to
We
be
can lose Kaito
impact.
here too. I can completely see losing Kaito here.
But then we'd have to lose Maki in Chapter 5.
Ah,
Chapter 5 has to be a very impactful murder. Probably the most impactful murder has to be Chapter 5.
where Maki kills Kaito.
Assassinates Kaito because she finds out he's the mastermind.
Yeah, right now everybody but Suichi and Maki are potential victims. Oh, and Kokichi. Kokichi can't die either.
He can fake it, but he can't make it.
It's a lie. But yeah, everyone but Suichi, Maki, and Kokichi are potential victims here. Either Sumugi or Miyu has to make it to the end as well. Miyu's just getting worse and worse though.
Yeah, I can see her dying this chapter, but
And Sumugi still hasn't done anything.
that's why I can't see her dying unless this chapter's all about her. But I don't think we're going to see anybody die until we see their ultimate lab.
I love that Kibo keeps showing off how usefully useless he is, though. All of
Actually,
his good functions, which are not amazing functions.
oh, spitting the Polaroid out of his mouth. I realized that every chapter, the victim and the culprit have their ultimate lab introduced, with the exclusion of the ultimate question mark.
Okay, I'll lock mine in right now. It's going to be the victim this time is Kibo.
Okay.
Reason being, we didn't get to check out the computer room last time.
Something's going down in there.
Something's going to have to be related to the computer room, I feel.
I like it.
So that's my lock-in. It's going to be Kibo this time.
Yeah, and I also don't think Kibo's making out of the game alive, and we've only got 2 more chapters to kill people. So it's going to be Gonta. Probably by Kibo.
Gonta's going to make it to the end.
I don't think you can have a Tarzan person go on to exist in the universe. Same thing with a robot.
Alright, then here's this. For males, who's gonna make it to the end? Because we know that Suichi will, and Kokichi will.
Right.
We know that Kaito won't.
Right.
So
we have to have one
between Gonta and Kibo.
Oh god, that's all that's left.
Yeah.
Oh, Rontaro's not dead then. We could have 2 and 3. Kaito's going to be the last murderer, and we'll end up with a final cast of 5.
So you think there's going to be 3 girls?
That sounds right to me. The final 6 is Shuichi, Kaito, Kokichi, Maki.
But then that means 2 of these girls have to live.
Himiko and Miyu.
You said all 2 Smugi's gotta make it through.
No, either Sumugi or Miyu has to die, and I think Miyu has a better chance.
And you actually think Himoko's gonna make it through? Or are you just rooting for her?
Well, there's only 4 girls left alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, only one of them's gonna die. It's gotta be, can't be Maki. I think it's gonna be Sumugi.
We can easily lose 2 of them.
We could easily lose Himiko
I'm
instead.
gonna go ahead and say Gonta's gonna make it to the end.
No way.
That's my lock-in. Gonta's not gonna fall.
You're gonna have Shuichi, Gonta, Kokichi, and then 2 girls or 3?
It depends if it's 5 or 6, right?
Well, who's the final 6 in this situation?
Final 6 would be...
Who's the other 3 girls that last the longest? Maki, for 1.
Maki.
Okay, and then out of Himiko...
Sumugi has a really good tendency to float, I guess.
I think you think she might float along, just all the way like Sonya did?
Somehow she's just gonna keep not dying.
Like Sonya and Toko before her?
Yeah.
And then Miyu or Himiko, who's dying?
I hate to say it, but probably Himiko's gonna die.
Yeah. I think Now you got me wondering if Himiko or Samugi. If I'm gonna pick one to make it, I don't think it's gonna be Himiko either.
Especially now she has the drive to live.
Yeah, so Gonta's gonna die and Himiko's gonna. Chapter 4, it's Gonta killed by Himiko. Chapter 5, it's Kaito killed by Maki.
The prediction really bugs me.
So I expect the Ultimate Academy to be finished, fully accessible in the next chapter. Oh, back to my point about the Ultimate Labs being introduced in the same chapter as the victim and the killer. We had Kaide, Ultimate Penis Lab in chapter 1, Ryoma's and Hirumi's lab introduced in chapter 2, along with Himiko's and Maki's, but we didn't get to go inside of it till chapter 3. In chapter 3, we had Angie's and Tanko's and Korekio's, all 3. We've already found Gonta's, so maybe he is safe.
We also have Himiko's.
I said that.
Oh, well.
She's the only one whose lab's been found that's still alive.
Miyu.
Oh yeah, Miyu is chapter 1 as well. Miyu and Maki and Himiko should be safe then. Which was my final prediction.
Oh no, Samugi's gonna die in the next chapter!
Yeah, then Gonta can't die.
Well, if it matches that model, but I doubt it will.
Kibo killed by Samugi? Sounds pretty good.
Kibo, Samugi, Kokichi,
Well, Kokichi can't die.
Kaito, and yours are all missing.
Ichi's, which is probably actually going to be in a big twist, Rantaro's. I'm not completely convinced that Rantaro's ultimate ability, his ultimate lab, is one of the other ones already. They're wrong about their ability. Probably Shuichi, if anybody, because he's not actually the ultimate detective, he's really the apprentice.
He's the ultimate liar.
Your deductions are fiction. Kokichi's the ultimate liar. And Celeste was the ultimate bluffer.
He's the ultimate hat.
Well, maybe that hat'll be in his ultimate lab next chapter. Oh. Okay, so all the ultimate labs aren't in the school building. I can think of one.
Tanko's and Miyu's?
No, I can think of one mysterious object outside the school. On the way to
the
Ultimate Inventor's lab.
The one next to Miyu's lab. Then there's still the hanging scroll at the 3rd floor.
Hanging scroll.
Oh, is that not the 3rd floor? The mysterious, the 4th floor.
You can't click on it though.
Room. Yeah, you can.
The one that's like in a dead hallway.
Yes, you can click on it.
Okay, so we get 2 bonuses for the next chapter.
Yeah.
From the 2 remaining mono kids, so those will open up, and then they're both gonna die in the thing, so we don't get what happens in chapter. Okay, projecting way too far ahead. Doesn't that mean one of Monophony has to live then to give us the final mysterious object?
It can't be Monotaro.
He is the leader. Got that star on his scarf.
He's red.
He's the one in need of a personality trait.
Father!
That's all he's got. He also has throwing stars.
Shuriken?
That's the one. Got those.
He also has really bad memory. I think that's his character trait.
I forgot. Can't keep these mono cubs straight.
Hell yeah!
He's the one I could point out personality wise, and then they killed him off because
it's getting interesting.
Those are just quotes from the casino game that you keep playing over and over for love keys.
Leave it to me.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah. When you get all of them, what did they say? One of each.
Rise and shine, Earth sign.
That's the one. On that note, do you have anything else to add?
No, Kibo's gonna die.
And Tsumugi killed him?
I don't know.
Well, you can't just go away without saying who's gonna kill him.
Tsumugi's just not gonna exist. Like, eventually her character's just not gonna show up and everyone's just gonna forget.
She's gonna fade away like Marty McFly, the photograph. I think Gonta is gonna die, killed by Tsumugi.
Damn. I don't know how Kaito's gonna make it through this chapter.
Oh, what if Kaito dies in chapter 5 of natural causes, and we have to investigate his murder. Everybody thinks it's a murder. Or they do it in chapter 4 to parallel Sakura's.
So here's the thing, though. A suicide can still count as a murder because you can point out a culprit.
No, not by suicide, just by natural causes.
What?
He dies to his disease.
No, that's the thing, though. You won't have a trial because...
They had a trial for suicide.
Yeah, because you can point out a culprit. Who are we gonna look at here? A Tua? We just put Kimiko and there's a Tua behind it?
Kibo's actually radioactive. He's been activating a lesion in his spine or something. I could see an attempted murder on Kaito, but he actually died of natural causes. We have to convince everybody that the killer's not the killer.
Do we just say that? Do we pick just Kaito then? Then
Probably
that's Kaito succumbing to his own illness?
Yeah, he might. I don't see Kaito killing himself just because he die soon.
No, but Kaito definitely wants to go to space. That was the last thing on that little preview.
Oh, I got it.
He has to. His time's limited, and he has to go.
He's gonna have to sacrifice himself.
Ascend to the stars.
He's going to have to take his own life to sacrifice himself for some reason for the good of the cast. That's gonna be the thing, and
Kokichi's gonna hide the suicide note.
Yoink! Wait, did Aoi actually do that for Sakura's murder? Because she knew it was a suicide like right away. And wanted to kill everybody.
She didn't want. She did it for Sakura's sake.
Yeah, it was because I remember they read it after the trial.
Yeah, because she interpreted it in a different way than you ended up interpreting it for her.
Yeah.
So.
Soiganta's gonna die at Samuki.
Kiwa's gonna die to Alter Ego.
Oh, Alter 3 go. Alter Vigo. Oh, it was Kibo's birthday. Like a week ago. Congratulations.
Oh, good job, Kibo.
The next one coming up is Miyu in 12 days. For those of you curious when we recorded this.
I guess that's it.
Oh. Well, thanks for bearing with us.
So long.
Farewell.